Are at the DNC. They're putting a lot of money. They're throwing a lot of fancy parties. They're bringing in actors like Richard Dreyfuss. That is not a cheap thing. But what DNC-sponsored brands are making their mark in Denver right now? Rob Frankel, branding expert, joining us now to explain. And I was looking at, first and foremost, Rob, the list of companies. It is everything from Coca-Cola to the Teachers Union of Sagaponack. What do they all stand to gain, first and foremost, and who wins?
Well, wow, I just can't believe that Richard Dreyfuss thing. I need a minute here.
Wait, but we're going to move on.
We're still rocking too, so.
That's all right. Please, go ahead and move on, sir.
Hey, I think what you got here is the outmoded idea that what he was right about is that the convention is very, very much outmoded. As far as a political instrument, as far as a marketing instrument, it's fabulous because it gets a lot of the special interest groups, a lot of the people, and let's face it, the Democrats have registered something like 400,000 new voters. Nice place to put your commercial message if you're targeted to those new voters. And let's face it, this is 5 days of just coverage. It's eyeballs, and they're partisan eyeballs. Believe me, the people who watch the Democratic convention are not going to be watching the Republicans. So you're getting sort of like the Olympics on a miniature scale. You're getting to see your message in front of a lot of targeted people.
Rob, I don't mean to sound facetious, but how far are we away from the day when a Barack Obama stands up at a podium and is wearing the Nike swoosh on his shirt? I'm joking. But, you know, we are seeing more companies piling into conventions and using it as a venue to advertise their brands.
Well, you know what? You're here, actually. You're here, and even though you don't see him wearing necessarily a Nike swoosh, you are seeing the same tactics that Nike actually uses. When they have a phrase that says, just do it, you have to look at it and say, what does that really mean? And the big issue that's been dogging Obama has been change. Okay, what does that really mean? So it's not as far as you think.
How about we got the labor unions that are a big part of the Democratic National Convention, but a lot of the names on the list are companies, big Fortune 100s, and they've got to be at both conventions. They don't really care, do they? I mean, it's the same idea. The politics of business is the same for Republicans and Democrats.
Yeah, and that's why I'm saying if you totally take away the political issues here, all the political value of a convention, what have you really got? What you've got is a media event with a lot of eyeballs that you could probably buy pretty cheap. So it really becomes nothing more than an Olympics, a football game, a Super Bowl. So it's a media event because the people you need to see it, whether they be a blue state or red state, are watching your commercial message.
Rob, let me throw some names out of here. Anheuser-Busch, Budweiser. We know those convention goers have been drinking a ton. We've heard that already. But AT&T, you got Best Buy, you got Boeing. Are these just the regular players out there that are always sponsoring big events like the DNC? Or do they actually have a reason to be there besides branding, political reason?
They're just there, for the most part, just to keep their logos above the noise level if they can, with one exception, and I find it really interesting that Anheuser-Busch is there sponsoring a major American event after their purchase by InBev, which is a real, that had a lot of reverberation throughout Americans.
Why does that surprise you? I don't
society.
Understand. Why does that surprise you then, that Bud's there?
Because it seems to be that they want to be reinforcing their American heritage after being purchased by a foreign company.
Yeah, but they probably committed before the purchase, so.
Rob Frankel, branding expert on the DNC. Interesting take on it.
Thanks, Rob.
Hey, be careful of Richard Dreyfuss.
I'm not even going to say